Hey everyone, welcome to Double A Homestead, and my name is Alicia. It was raining earlier. The weather is really nice as far as temperature, but the rain has finally let up, so we are out going to the barn now. And what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be doing some soil testing and get that sent out so we can see what's in our soil. So let's go ahead and grab the auger, and then we'll meet Andrew out in the field. I found Andrew wandering around. And I also forgot that when summer comes, so do the bugs, and it's very buggy out here, and it's quite annoying. But we got the auger, we have Andrew, and we have something to put the soil in, so we're gonna show you how we get that soil so we can get it tested.
I should probably mention before we go ahead and get started into getting this soil, why are we testing it? Well, we're testing it because we need to know the NPK, like how much is in this soil, so we know how much to add fertilizer. There's micro and macro nutrients, so we're just focusing on the macronutrients right now. The micro ones kind of come later, and that's something most people aren't going to worry about. That's just going to be a kind of a byproduct of the fertilizer you buy. So let's go ahead and find where, well, first we need to determine where do we want the garden. So there is quite a bit of clay. I'll just go ahead and take a sample while I'm here. And make sure I'm in the right setting. You can see it's quite a bit more sand than some of the other locations. I don't know if we can see that okay. There's, of course, some clay in there, but a little bit more sandy. I'd rather deal with that than solid clay.
Yeah.
For myself, clay's great, it holds moisture, but if it holds too much, that's quite a problem.
Yeah, unfortunately, this isn't really the ideal spot that we want. Maybe in the future we can probably move it to somewhere more ideal, but as far as what we're dealing with the water, it's the best spot right now.
Yep. Let's go ahead and sample here. Well, it's still not so bad. Still a bit of sand. All right, well that covers basically this entire line. Now we'll keep coming this way. And in a little bit more clay here, especially the top.
You can see how it clumps together like that. That's clay.
So that's what we're trying to stay away a little bit.
I mean, we're not going to be able to fully stay away from it.
No,
it's just, it is what it is, unfortunately.
You can see that top layer there was a little bit more clay. It's just too much water retention in my opinion. I like a good draining soil, that way you can control how much water is going to be sitting at the root level.
We have explained to you why it's important to soil test, but we haven't explained what each nutrient does for our garden. So for nitrogen, what that does, it is important for...
Now, too much nitrogen is actually a bad thing, because then your plant is only going to focus on that plant getting bigger. It's not going to put its energy into the fruits, so we want to be careful that we don't just dump a ton of nitrogen into the soil. We want to get that number right, and that is why we're doing soil testing. And that next letter is going to be the P in the NPK. That is going to stand for our phosphorus. What the phosphorus is going to do, it is going to promote that strong root development. If you don't have a plant that has like a strong root system, it has no way to even uptake those nutrients. So let's say you have all the N and K you want in there, but without the strong roots, how's the plant going to get that nutrients out of the soil? And then it's also going to help promote our fruit when that comes along, so your flowers, your fruit production, etc. And then the last letter of that is going to be K, so again they're NPK. So it's a little weird because the P is the phosphorus, but then the K stands for potassium. It's also known as the potash. So the potassium, to me, it's kind of like a multivitamin. It takes care of the plant as a whole, and it's not just kind of narrowing down on one thing. Like the nitrogen is mainly for the vegetative growth and stem development, but the potassium is going to help the plant like get a immune system essentially to diseases. And then it's also going to promote fruit growth along with the phosphorus. So now that we have gone ahead and covered the NPK a little more in depth, if you want us to, we can get even way more in depth in these nutrients things. Like I said, you got the macro and the micro. We're only covering the main three. So just drop a comment. Like if you want, we'll get in depth as you want us to. We like to teach, and you know, we want to teach you all of the mistakes we've learned over the last decade, so that way you don't have to. And that's the great thing about the internet. We don't have to make mistakes anymore. Somebody else already has, and they filmed it, and they made it available for us. So just, yeah, let us know. We'll make more videos on the subject, but that is the summary. Well, obviously it is important that we order the soil test first. We can't test it if we haven't done that. So I want to just show you on my phone here. If you go right here and you type in MSU home soil test into your phone or even your laptop, and you're just going to scroll down until we get to the MSU soil test home. We're going to click on that. And then we are going to scroll down. You can see where it says purchase the kit. And then there's a link right here, shop.msu. So we're going to click on that. And we're going to scroll down. It says the soil test mailer. And you can go ahead and hit the add to cart. And then you can go ahead and hit checkout. And then here is where you're going to enter all your information with your shipping, etc. It is super easy to do. They send it right to your house. You don't ever have to leave. And then you're going to go ahead and send it back, and we're going to show you how we do that next. So I know that I just showed you how to order it, but we've already done that. Fortunately, I had somebody that was able to pick it up in the office for me and bring it to us. So we are in Michigan, if you haven't figured that out. I believe we've mentioned it in a few videos. So it is our local extension, and you can also look for your local extension as well. Maybe you can get a discount. I do know the Minnesota, the college there, they actually accept them from all over the nation. I believe all colleges do, or all the extensions, but I am not positive. You should look into that. But we need to go ahead and open this up. This is what it looks like, just kind of like getting an envelope in the mail. We went ahead and popped that open. I haven't taken it out yet, so we'll see. It's been a couple years since I've done this, but I did do it once before. So anyways, we got a sheet here that just talks about the mailer. It's actually an envelope. There's some information on the back. If you've watched some of my videos, you know I'm not good at directions, so I'm going to just go in and see what we got. So we do have a bag that came in here. That is what we're going to put our soil into. We have the mailer form that is going to include, you're gonna just, your address, some other things like that, mailing instructions, etc. We have our envelope. There's no postage necessary, so that's nice.
So we're just going to go ahead and go over some of the things that came inside a little bit more with not the actual envelope, but there was an envelope inside that came with some of these things. And it gives you an overview on the back here, just some of the information of what it is testing for. Now we knew it wasn't testing for nitrogen specifically, but it does have a list on here like potassium, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium on here, and what comes inside of the package, and also explains to you when you should test your soil. You can test your soil anytime you want, but the thing is you want to make sure that your soil is thawed. You don't want it frozen when you send that out.
And one really important thing is they are going to test for your organic matter, which, as some of you know, maybe some of you don't. Organic matter is super important, and just creating a living soil, that's where a lot of like the success you see out of people's gardens, that's where it's coming from. So it's important we get some organic matter in there, not just fertilizer. So them being able to test that is amazing. And then on top of that, they are going to go ahead and tell us exactly how much fertilizer we need to put per, I don't know if it's 100 square feet. I don't know what it comes down to. Either way, they tell you exactly what to put. They gave you multiple options. If I recall from last time, we could go an organic route, and they gave us the amount of pounds for that. We're excited to be able to get that information back, especially for now our own property versus a relative's, which we had done at a previous place, which if you watch last year's videos, that's where it was.
I do also want to mention, just so you know ahead of time, this does not test for contaminants.
Yeah, that's very true. So if contaminants are a concern, you need to get your own test done.
As you can see here, we have our soil. It's a little different. You want to let your soil dry before you send it in. So we already did get our soil. We just wanted to show you for video purposes of how we get that soil. So we have our dry soil here, and we're gonna go ahead and try to get it in that little baggie.
As long as we can get it flat, I guess, huh? I'd rather send them a little bit more than under, in case they gotta, I don't know how they do all this. What about that situation?
Because it's gotta be flat, so let's see.
I think that's a cup.
Yeah, I think that'll be all right. We have everything filled out. There is a little piece of paper that you have to fill out that goes in the front of your bag. We've got our soil in our bag, about 1 cup. So we're gonna slide that. There's a little slot in here, and slide that in there. And we've got our prepaid envelope that we're gonna be putting this in to send it out. And then Andrew's got the paperwork here. He's getting that ready. We do keep the yellow piece of paper, and then we send out the white piece of paper.
Yeah, that should fit right in there, yeah?
Yeah. I could try to get it as flat as possible, but I mean, how perfect can you get it? So, and then it's really nice. We'll just make sure we got just the paper and the soil. And you don't have to lick anything. Just a little peel here, and then you just close it up, and then you're ready to go.
Yep, we'll get that mailed out, and then hopefully within the next 7 to 14 days we'll have the results. The idea would be to get it sooner. Last time they did send me a text message and it had a link right to the internet. I can actually still pull up that soil test because I have that text message saved. So that's really nice. Plus you should receive an email. But what we're going to do now is wait. Once we get that information back, and we'll go from there. So yeah, it'll probably be a week or 2 for us, but as she said before, it'll be a YouTube minute, so stand by.
Yep. So it's been a couple weeks, and we finally got our soil test back. So let's go ahead and go in the barn and take a look at that where it's shady and you can see that.
Sounds good to me. As we mentioned, we got our soil test back. So what happens is they're going to send you a text message and an email, whichever you prefer. We do both. You click on a link and it's going to take you to this. You see the home soil test MSU. At the top here there's going to be an identifying number, and then your name and whatever your title is for the piece of ground you want to do. So let's go through these results. You can see our phosphorus is 45, and then our potassium was that 92. Magnesium is 100, calcium 600, CEC, so that is the soil's ability to hold the nutrients. The soil type is going to be mineral. The soil pH is 5.8, lime index 6.9, organic matter is 2.1%. So I'm definitely not thrilled with these results. You can see the phosphorus and potassium are below optimal. The calcium, in my opinion, needs to go up quite a bit. The soil type, the mineral, that's kind of a weird one. Our other garden, it said mineral like loamy and sandy. So it's kind of interesting why they went just right, clay / whatever. But anyways, soil pH. That is 5.8. The pH is very bad in my opinion, unless you're trying to grow some blueberries, but we are not, so we need to correct that. That's why there is a lime index of 6.9, and the organic matter is also low, but it is double the organic matter we had at the other garden. Perhaps you're one of the ones that watched our other videos from a year or 2 ago. You would know we had 1.1% in that other garden, and actually, if I click over, I have it right here. So this was April 23, 2021. you can see our phosphorus was double what we have now. Our potassium was actually, that's half of what we had. Magnesium, that was doubled. Calcium was higher. The CEC number was higher. And you can see loamy sand for the soil type. And the pH was 6.8. And then the organic matter of 1.1. So unfortunately, when we do go back to this one and we get that soil pH, that's all new to us. In the 13 years we've been gardening, we've never had to deal with correcting the pH. So this will be a first. If you want to see what we're going to do about those soil test results and how we're going to fix this, you're going to have to watch one of the future videos. We are going to try and go through each of those numbers and determine how we're going to go about fixing it. You probably saw that nitrogen wasn't included in those listed numbers. That's all right. They do actually give us a recommendation, and I did forget to show you that. They tell you how many pounds of fertilizer at what number you need to put on here, as well as they recommended how much lime, etc. So yeah, why don't you stay tuned for the other video.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and thank you for taking the time out of your day. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button. It would really help us out. And until next time, take care.
Thanks for watching.